In today's competitive job market, having a strong personal brand is no longer a nice to have, but a must have. Yes, it's something that everyone should be thinking of having. That is how you can stand out, how you can distinguish yourself from the crowd and build a personal brand that opens doors to new opportunity. And today joining us on the show would be the amazing Royal James. She is a content creator and a personality coach who has helped numerous of individuals and businesses build their personal brand. And today right here on the show she'll be joining us virtually to talk about what makes personal branding so important in today's workplace and of course the business landscape. We're just going to be connecting with her virtually, like I said, as we get to talk about how to distinguish yourself in a workplace or business, as the case may be. We are just looking at building a personal brand. I'm trying to reach out to her so that she can get connected to the show. All right, I think she's on now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm great. Thank you so much. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good to hear from you.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Lovely to hear from you as well.
All right, thank you. So, what we usually do is before we start, who is Royal James? Just tell us a bit about yourself before we dive properly into the conversation.
Oh, okay. That's beautiful. So, first of all, Royal James is a YouTuber, a content creator, a freelancer, a makeup artist, and a self-love enthusiast, basically.
Okay, self-love enthusiast, personality coach.
Yeah.
Because you need to love yourself to be able to build a personality. Well, thank you. Nice to meet you. So, if you could
Thank you so much.
All right. Now, the very first question that we have would be, as a content creator and a personality coach, how did you develop your personal brand and what are the values that you think are necessary to convey through your brand? What values do you think are necessary?
Okay. Beautiful question, by the way. Honestly, developing my personal brand started with me just being myself, basically.
Okay.
So, as a content creator, I didn't try to be like anyone else. I lean into what I love, meaning self-love, growth, and spirituality, basically.
Okay.
I've actually always had this deep desire to help others, especially women, find their confidence and start embracing who they truly are. So I started with my YouTube channel, talking about topics like numerology and self-love, and just showing up as the most authentic self, like myself to the very core. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the core values I try to communicate are authenticity, empowerment, and self-love. For example, in my numerology content, I try to teach people not just about the numbers, but how they can actually use that knowledge to make better life choices, feel more aligned with who they are, and ultimately themselves more, basically.
Wow, really nice, I must say. Okay, so let's come back to building a personal brand or trying to distinguish yourself in a workplace or a business. Why is personal branding very important?
So it is because it's literally you showing your authenticity, who you are, and showing that physical you out to the world. So personal branding, it's your identity to the outside world, basically. And that is why it's very important. And also trying to be authentic to who you are, to your core. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, please, I can.
Oh, okay. Are you okay? I thought you were still speaking about that.
Not at all. I'm actually done. I just had to summarize it quickly.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I was going to ask, what are some common mistakes that people make when building their personal brand, and how can they avoid them?
Okay, this is a very relatable one, really.
Okay.
So I feel like a big mistake people, or let me just have myself, a big mistake I made in the beginning was trying to please everyone, and that's what most people do. So I've learned in the process that you can't really be everything to everyone, and that's totally fine. Another mistake is not being consistent. Now, when I started out, I didn't really have a set schedule for posting, and I quickly realized, and that made it harder for people to stay engaged because I really wasn't consistent enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also wasn't clear about my message, and that confused my audience. So to avoid these mistakes, I would say pick a niche, stick to your core message, and just be consistent. Even if it's just once a week at first, it's better to be consistent and grow slowly than to be all over the place. You get?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say like being all over the place or picking a niche, there are some people that just know everything. I know nobody knows it all, but there are people who are really interested in doing so many things. So how can they combine this, or how can they avoid the urge of trying to be all over the place in the quest of building like a personal brand for themselves?
I would really just say, just stick with your heart, really. Whatever wave it takes you to, just stick with it. Eventually, you'd make sense of it. I am also this that you just mentioned right now. I like to do like tons of things at the same time, but I think it still boils down to going within and finding that one thing that you really love doing, and just pursue it relentlessly. You get? So it all boils down to really love to do, and just do it regardless, you know.
All right, it just boils down to what you want to do or what you love to do and how to do it
Yeah.
regardless. Oh, okay. So now,
Yes, please.
to my next question, how do you think that one's personal brand can impact their career or business, and what benefits can it bring?
Okay, so basically, I feel like a personal brand can open so many doors. Yeah, it just depends on how you package it and how you show yourself out to the world. For me, it's been a game changer. Having a personal brand has aligned with my passion for self-love and empowerment, has grown and helped me gain loyal followership, or following. So that trust has translated into opportunities for me, and how I think one can really build. Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, how I think one can really build is to just focus on really building your personal brand, basically, if I get that right. People feel like for example, myself, people feel like they know me, and because they trust me, they are more likely to buy into my services because of my personal brand, because of how I've really portrayed and showed myself out there. And the best part is it helps you attract the right kind of people. Whether that's clients, collaborators, or simply like-minded individuals who vibe with what you're putting into the world and literally just putting out there. So it all boils down to packaging yourself. You understand?
Okay, so now I'm still going to like reiterate on that question. Now, apart from just packaging yourself, trying to be out there, the way you present yourself to the world, how do you think that this can impact people's career or their business? Yes, what benefits do they stand to gain by trying to have like a personal brand?
Networking. Networking. There are tons of opportunities out there. So the way you brand yourself, you don't know who you're going to meet tomorrow. You don't know who you might eventually bump into, but that can literally open doors for you. Do you understand? That can really open doors for you, because I feel like it's I don't know, it's very vast and the networking is huge, you see. So that can really help, especially networking, landing opportunities, and literally just surrounding yourself. It's to parachute you into the right kind of people and the right kind of opportunities. That's the word.
The right kind of opportunities. Well, thank you so much. I must say that so far the conversation has been quite engaging, and I'm hoping that it's actually same for listeners as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All All right, dear listener, in case you just tuned in, this is the workstation right here on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. And today we are having a conversation with a content creator and personality coach on the need to build a personal brand. Now, in case you're wondering what a personal brand is just the way an individual presents or promotes themselves to the world, especially in terms of their unique qualities, expertise, values, and personality. It's just how you want to be perceived by others, both online and offline. And today we are looking at it particularly in the work environment or your business place. Imagine you're doing a business or you're working in a certain place and you want to stand out, you want to distinguish yourself. All right, thank you so much, Royal, for hanging on the air. Right here on the line. So I'm just going to move on to the next segment of the conversation. You are an advocate of self-love. You are a self-love enthusiast. Can you talk about the importance of authenticity in building a personal brand? How can people stay true to themselves, especially when there is so much out there? How can one stay authentic?
Oh, beautiful question. All right, so authenticity is everything when building a personal brand.
Okay.
So if you're not genuine, people will sense it, and it will be hard to connect with them.
Okay.
So being authentic means being honest about who you are and what you stand for. So you can still maintain professionalism by setting boundaries, having clear messaging, and delivering your content in a way that resonates with your audience while staying true to your core values.
Okay.
So it's all about just being genuine. Because when you're genuine, people would sense it. You understand?
Really?
Yeah, and just literally being honest about who you are.
Okay.
Because honestly, that's even what's going to draw people to you. And that also boosts your personal brand, looking at it in hindsight.
Hello, are you with us?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's more like it.
So you just have to stay authentic. Sometimes there are temptations that you have to deviate. You have to be like every other person. And sometimes people find it really difficult from trying to see what there is nothing wrong in seeing what the other person is doing, even though some people would say don't compare yourself. You need to look up to people, but sometimes people struggle between looking up to people and then choosing themselves.
Yes, please.
So people who are struggling to look up to people and at the same time pick themselves up, be themselves, what do you have to say to them?
Just be yourself.
Okay.
Just be yourself, regardless of what people think, regardless of how people see you, regardless of how you see yourself. Just be yourself. Do what you love to do and just be your real self. It's very attractive when we are ourselves, So when you be yourself, people would perceive it, people would sense it. So I think that's genuine power there. Just be yourself. Just close up to what people think about you, what you think about yourself, and just embrace your true core self to yourself. You get?
All right, I get. Okay, so now let's go back to another part of self-expression and authenticity. What role do you think creativity plays in expressing one's personal brand?
Okay, so creativity plays a huge role in how we express our brand. It's actually what makes you stand out as a person. So, for example, as a content creator, from the design of your logo to the style of your videos to the little quirks here and there, creativity is what helps you communicate your values and personality to people. So to be more creative, one has to think about the things that inspire them and how they can actually incorporate this into their personality as well as a content creator into your own content. So don't be afraid to try new things and experiment until you find your unique style. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. So creativity plays a huge role basically because it helps you express yourself to the world. It helps you express. It helps you give people a sense of your personality through your style.
a sense
Yeah.
of your
Yeah.
personality through your style. I think that is just about you being
Yes.
unique, you being yourself.
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please. You need to have something that makes you stand out, that makes you stick out, and that is where the creativity comes in play.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And that
Yeah.
brings us to the next segment of the conversation where we get to talk about uniqueness. Now, with so many people building personal brands, how can one differentiate themselves and stand out in the crowded market? Yes, there are so many people doing this thing, especially when it has to do with content creation, when it has to do with, so many things. People, I think
Mhm.
virtually everyone is buying and selling these days. When you go online, you see people
Yeah.
selling stuff. I think everyone is selling. So
Yeah.
how can you be different? How can you stand out, differentiate yourself, and stand out in this crowded market?
That's a very beautiful and tricky one. Okay, so to stand out, it's important for you to focus on what makes you unique. So the
Okay.
keyword here is uniqueness. Yeah.
Okay.
So and you start with asking yourself questions like, what are your passions? What do you know that others don't know? Yeah. So for me, I differentiate myself by focusing on my love for spirituality, for
Okay.
numerology, and self love. I also make sure to bring my personality into my work. Like people connect with you when they feel like they know you. You get.
Okay.
So I would say to differentiate yourself, don't be afraid to show your authentic self and share your personal story. Yeah, you just have to find something that makes you unique in it. So, what are your passions? What do you know that others don't know? How can you incorporate that into what you're giving and bringing out there?
Okay.
You need to give people a sense of experience, basically.
A sense of
Yeah.
experience.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I must say you're dropping gems, and I would say that it's been such an impactful conversation listening to you say so
Anyway,
many things. I'm glad that you are able to say these things that are quite relatable. You are not using so many big terms. You're just keeping it very simple, and I think that's one thing that I
yeah.
really admire. It's supposed to be very educative and very informative. So we just have to keep it very relatable. Thank you very much. So,
Thank you.
all right. So now you know that as much as we preach, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself, there are people who are still struggling with trying to be themselves, trying to
Hmm.
identify their unique strengths. So if you are in the position to tell someone, how can people identify their unique strengths and talents to help them stand out? How can they identify that unique strength? Because there are people who are yet to even discover themselves or what they are capable of achieving.
Hmm. True. True.
So how can they discover that?
Okay. So I would first start with, who do you listen to? Who
Okay.
do you watch? What are your circle like? Because you are the people you hang around with. And for you to struggle with something like that, then first of all, you need to check your circle. Also, to identify your strength, think about what you enjoy doing the most and what people often come to you for help with. Is it writing? Is it problem solving? Is it motivating others? And use those strengths to build a brand. Yeah.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, if you love helping others achieve their goals, if you love helping others, make them feel beautiful about themselves. If you love helping others, make them happy and make them laugh. Make that the foundation of your brand and focus on creating a personality or content for content creators or services that help people in that area.
Okay.
That way, you can find your unique strength through the process. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That way you can
Mhm.
find your unique strength. I think you said so many things that are relatable. The one that, what do you find yourself most comfortable with? Is it helping people?
Mhm.
Is it talking? Is it motivation? I think this is the way that people will be able to identify what their strengths are or what their talents are, so to say, and how they can draw
Yeah.
from that to have a distinctive personal brand. Thank you very much. Okay, now
You're welcome.
coming to the last part of the conversation where we get to talk about consistency. I remember you mentioned consistency. Now, this is something that people struggle with a lot. Yes, you need
Mm,
consistency to build a personal brand because people have to see you. You have to show up always. So, how
yes,
can
please.
people maintain consistency across all platforms? How can they do that, judging from your experience?
Okay. Okay, let me start with myself because I feel like I procrastinate a lot as well.
Okay.
So yeah, so consistency is just the key to everything, literally.
Mm,
Consistency is the key to everything. So for me, I stay consistent by having a clear message and say aesthetics that reflects my values. Yeah. So
okay.
whether it's my YouTube videos, TikToks, or Instagram posts, I make sure everything aligns with my personal brand.
Okay.
I also create a content calendar to plan out my posts, which help me stay organized and ensure I'm consistently sharing valuable content.
Mm,
You understand?
okay.
So I think the main thing here is you just try to align yourself and what you're doing to your personal brand.
Okay.
Try to have a calendar if that helps. Try to be like 2 3 steps ahead. When, for example, as a content creator and a YouTuber, if I know I have to post a video next week, I need to make the video this week and probably schedule it
Mm,
for when it comes. So those things can actually help you stay consistent and even ahead of time.
mm,
Yeah. So
okay.
incorporating this into your daily life and activities can really help working ahead of time.
Okay. Working
Yeah.
ahead of time. All right. Because I
Mhm.
think procrastination is something that so many of us actually battle with. And somehow we just have to find a way. And I think, like you've said, it's about being ahead so that when that time
Yes.
comes, you have